What's going on, beautiful people? Welcome back to another episode of Respect the Game podcast. My name is Edward, named after a great man, that me and my pops. Shout out to my mama and my granny for helping raise me too. Please make sure you go follow at Emacs Stats for all your up-to-date high school, pro, and collegiate sports coverage. We'll not disappoint. We'll keep you up to date on all that is going on in the beautiful sports world. As you can see, 2-on-2 tonight. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna always hold it down for who not in attendance, but make sure you go follow our brother Sedacious at I am Sedacious on Twitter, also at Live the Minister, Sedacious on Facebook, wherever you do your socials at, and also make sure you follow our brother Black Peace um, at Black Peace on all your social media, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, so on and so forth. But Shaq and Kobe, Tom Brady, Randy Moss, uh, Braun, Kyrie, whichever way you want to look at it. Me and my brother Sean Hart Izzo in the building tonight to hold it down for our brothers who are not in attendance. What is a podcast without your brethren?
Yeah, man. Big brother Iron Man, Sean or Izzo tapping in Instagram and Twitter, currently known as X, but I would never call it that because I'm a millennial through and through. But yeah, man, Sean Horse Surgical Peace coming to a season and a draft room, war room near you. Let's go.
True indeed, man. To kick off the show. Sean Hart Izzo, what do you want to highlight about what you do respect or don't respect from this past week. And before we get into that, we want you beautiful people out there to know that respect or don't respect is brought to you by your logo here. All right. But now, what you want to respect or don't respect this week is
Man, I respect the fight that the Rockets put up, um, pushing the Warriors to 7 games. I don't want to talk about it too much. Self-explanatory. Just don't think we had enough shot making down the stretch to pull it through. But one thing I think I gotta start respecting a little more, and I've been very disrespectful of him this year due to who they've compared him to. But I think I definitely gotta respect Tyrese Halliburton, man. 2 game winners in 2 weeks. Uh, hey man, he ain't waiting on his respect. He taking it. So I I ain't got nothing but respect for that man. Wow, I still can't even believe he hit the one that he hit tonight over the Cavaliers. Down two, by the way, with 11 seconds left. Hit the step back three with the second remaining in order for the Pacers to go up 2-0 on the Cavaliers, man. That's huge, man. That's big time. So much respect to what the hell? Sure.
nah, nah, man. As the saying goes, the regular season is where you earn your name, but the playoffs is where you earn your fame. And he is definitely becoming more and more famous in these playoffs, especially off of the disrespect, if you will, of being deemed the most overrated player in the league. So what I think that really makes him ice cold is the presence of mind to miss that free throw, get it, reset. Because a lot of people in that situation, they'll be all over the place. But he was calm, cool, and collected throughout. Get the rebound, get out, reset. All right, let's go ahead, line this up, and let's go home. So for him to pull that off is very much so respecting unto that. I'm trying to pull up this. There's a better out there. There's a crazy bet out there. Somebody bet. I don't know if it was $25 or like $250, but they had the Pacers going to the NBA Finals with somebody else out of the East. Excuse me, with somebody else out of the West. I'm not gonna hold up the shot.
As
It may
Stats shows off the new Texas hat.
Oh, right, not even intentional. Looking down here at my phone. But nah, bro, it's a better right there who got the Indiana Pacers going to the finals. And that's a pretty penny on that bet. Uh yeah, man. So yeah, shout out to you, Tyrese Halliburton. No, Izzo was putting respect on our Houston Rockets and the fight that they put up. Obviously nobody had them being a second seed. I think after last year missing a play-in, I definitely had us being in the playoffs. But to be like, I knew without a shot of a doubt we was going to be a 2 seed. I didn't see that. So hats off to Ime Udoka and what he's building, the foundations he's building with that program. Uh, and so yeah, man, salute to our Rockets on a it was a great season. I know we pissed off, and I'm somebody who like I didn't just absorb the loss from Game 7, but like I went all the way back to when we just recently lost to the damn Florida Gators in the national championship. So like it's just like Houston, like we are due and overly owed a championship, bro. The city deserved one. We've been needing one, man. Um, but yeah, man. Again, man. Shout out to you. Your respect or don't respect presented to you by your logo here. So get at us if you want to sponsor. Get place an ad on the podcast. We definitely appreciate it and would love to work with you out there with a business that's listening. Uh,
We'd love to.
don't respect Jalen Green. I absolutely 1010%.
Wow.
I do not respect your performance in the playoffs, but I will say this in the same breath of saying that. I whether I want to or not, I believe that it's absolutely fair and I believe that we absolutely have to give you grace even after a horrific performance that doesn't even feel like it warrants to be able to be given grace. But you deserve grace. However, I do not respect your first playoff series performance. I have a lot of thoughts about Jalen Green's situation, but I equate his playoff performance to a guy who's great in pickup basketball. And the second he has to now go over to organized basketball, he doesn't know what to do. I feel like that's a great analogy for how Jalen Green performed in the playoffs. Regular season is great, right? You know what I'm saying? Like you playing mediocre teams throughout the league. Y'all got y'all foundation built in, like, back to back, night to night teams are tired, so they're not gonna play you tough. We all know there's a regular season level and then there's a playoff level of intensity. And he flat out wasn't ready. He verbally said himself the lights was too bright, the court seemed bigger than normal going into game 1 at home. If you feel like that at the crib, I knew game 3 you was going to not perform well because what you going if you can't perform game 1 at the crib, I know being your first playoff game on the road is going to be catastrophic. Um, so yeah, Jalen Green, you deserve grace again. But my brother, you better be an all-star next year. Because if you are not even close to being an all-star
On
next year,
whatever team you on, because you may not be on this team.
you are running the risk after this playoff performance because you're only good as your last playoff performance or your last
Bradley
game.
Beal playoff arc or Bradley Beal player arc in regards to career journey.
This
I
will
heard that on social media.
the Houston Rockets will be the last max contract you sign if you don't find a way to figure it out and up your level of game. So you deserve grace. It's your first playoff experience. We're gonna give you the grace, whether we want to or not. You're owed it because everybody just naturally in life you deserve a second chance. But my brother, this better be one of the most prolific summers of your life. um, And also, too, here's the other thing for people who like want to get rid of him. We can't get rid of Jalen Green. Why? You can't convince me that Jalen Green has any trade value after the performance. You can't convince
Man,
me.
you crazy as hell.
You think he got trade value?
Absolutely. As a young player in this league, bro, who still averages a hair over 20 points a game, who's still young, who still has the ability to grow into, he still has the proverbial, well, his ceiling is, whatever you think his ceiling is, but to say he just doesn't have any value is, I believe, a little overblown. But I mean, did it diminish within these playoffs? Sure. But just to say that he's Ben Matherin or something like that. I don't believe that's the case. I mean, I still believe he's highly sought after. In the league. I don't believe that he's just diminished to a point to where he's just this undesirable. Like, man, I wouldn't go near Jalen Green. Like, I don't believe it's one of those type of instances.
So is your
If
argument?
anything,
You can
I
finish
was
my
gonna say,
bad.
if anything, like I pray he don't have that James Harden type career arc to where he need to get traded from the Rockets in order to bloom and blossom into, whatever he need to be. But, um, I don't know, man. The first 3 years in the league compared to Harden's first three in the league look vaguely similar.
Is your only argument to Jalen Green's trade value is potential?
It's not only potential. I just think I mean, he had the one great playoff game where he had 38, and then every other performance was just abysmal, which was six other games, which is a pretty large sample size in the playoffs. Talking it out loud, I would say it kind of sounds crazy, but even after, because it's his first one, he's going to get extended some grace and a pass because the expectations were so low. They were non existent for this. Nobody saw the Rockets being second seed in the West. Absolutely nobody. So to even get to that point, I mean, you gotta give him a little bit of credit for that. That's still a tough feat to do, especially how the NBA is, you know, um, how the NBA is currently today. So I don't want to just kill Jalen Green's hopes and dreams currently, but it was a shaky ass first playoff run for sure. Like he definitely has room to improve.
I was like, that might be an insult to Shaky.
I mean, hey, you at the bottom, man. The only place you can go is up. You don't get no worse than that.
That's fair. Okay. I still don't feel like when we talk about trade value, does he have some? Okay, he got some, but I don't think he has trade value in the sense we're going to trade him away for pieces that could put us into like championship play.
I don't believe that because I feel like if we're looking at it through that lens, if you would say if he just has a decent playoff run, I feel like his trade value is through the roof, through the
One
moon,
thousand
right? And
percent.
then if he has a decent playoff run, are we even talking about trading him?
We not.
It's
If he has a
my point.
decent playoff run, we're in the second round. We're playing right now. If he has a decent playoff run,
My point.
uh, but I don't. If I'm a GM, and we've seen a lot of,
Do you think that's the best he's gonna be? Do you think that's peak Jalen Green in the playoffs?
do I think that's peak Jalen Green? I'm gonna say I hope not.
Okay.
I hope not. The performance though was so bad. It's hard to write it off. It's hard to just hang your hat on. It was just so bad. It's concerning for the future. And I say that from a perspective of like, this wasn't a guy, this wasn't a performance where, dang, he was really struggling shooting. He was being benched as a max player, as a number one option. He was benched. That don't say like when your head coach, when you're supposed to be the head honcho, the number one option, you got the rookie, you got the max contract. This is supposed to be your team, and you get benched. That is so alarming. I don't. It's not easy to just be like, this is your first one, or I just think you're gonna bounce back. Like, bro, you got benched. Like, and forgive me for sounding like a broken record. But like, if you're $100 million guy and you get benched, I don't know what type of trade value is to come of you, because a team would essentially be saying, "We watched you get benched in the playoffs as $100 million guy, and we're just to acquire you, and we just to acquire you for you to like not be $100 million guy for us." Because we don't pay you for the regular season, we pay you for your production. And again, all this is like in the moment feelings, whatever. Like next year, we could be singing a new tune. We hope we're singing a new tune next season, right? Because at this point, the playoffs are like expected of us at this point, right? So it's like there's no more little kid woo doo woo. You know what I'm saying? It's just like I used to feel like, oh man, we're a brewing Boston Celtics type foundation that we're building, but I don't think Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum ever played that horrible, bro. It's I don't know, bro.
Yeah, they did. They had some really great playoff runs, even in their rookie season
yeah,
together in their
man.
first years together. So
And if he just gives us another game, bro, he didn't even have to be great for all seven. If he could just be good for one more game, bro, I believe we're in the second round. And I'll take it on the chin with us like losing in the second round. I think I'm just mad at the fact that it's not like we got washed. Those games were winnable. That's what hurt me. But this is how you do get rid of Jalen Green, and I'll move on from this. There was a player in the league who was a max guy, I believe, at the time, and he was set to be the future for a particular team. And at the time, trading him, it's like, why would you trade him when you just signed him a max contract? Talking about Jordan Poole. So there is a way to get rid of Jalen Green. We may need something to happen to him, but I say that joking. I don't. I was saying when Jordan Poole got stolen on by Draymond, they
wow.
got him up out of there.
I say this in all due respect to Steph Curry. Hallelujah. The Lord answers prayer. He strained his hamstring in the second quarter, and a strained hamstring in the playoffs means he probably won't be
Won't
back.
play till game three at the
You
earliest.
talking about game three? I'm
I mean,
saying he's done.
I, if they can't steal one of these games, he may try to make a comeback for game three. May
They're
try to
done.
do
They're done.
it. Stick a
T
fork
Wolves to the
in.
conference finals. Michael Jordan's son and Edwards, you got a chance, brother. You got a chance.
Wow. I'm just
Wow.
looking at this in real time, bro. 15 for 30, 50% from the field, 48 points, and you lose off of a game winner. The playoffs are so unforgivable. Those numbers I just read were Donovan Mitchell's numbers. 48 in the playoff performance with a loss, and that's one of your greatest, probably one of the greatest games of your career. Well, no, you got 72 or something like 70. You had a 70-point
Evan
game.
Mobley, no Darius Garland.
That's just demoralizing. And Steph Curry goes down while they're up big on these dudes. Wow. Oh yeah, on the rundown. Um, he's not here tonight, unfortunately. But I would say Nuggets, Clippers. But James Harden, Game 7. How can you make sense of this, Sean Hard? Is there any grace to be given unto James like the grace that we're given to Jalen Green? Is there
No
any?
grace, no excuses, no nothing. This is a routine thing for James Harden, man, just not showing up in game sevens. You can date this shit back to 10 plus years. 2014 finals with Ginobili blocked the shot, all the way back to, him not showing up for a game seven against the Warriors, him not showing up against a game seven a couple years back with the 76ers. Um, these are just, you know, this is again, James Harden will fool you in the regular season. And then when it does come to, man, James, where you at? I actually like need you to get off today. Nowhere to be found. Period. And I don't have to go on a long soliloquy about it, man. James Harden is not who you think he is within the postseason, man. He will not be that clutch performer that you need to take and make big shots down the stretch or to keep you competitive within a close game. If it is an elimination game that happens to have a seven, somewhere within the chronological numbering of it. So that's my piece about it, man. Much respect to James for his regular season prowess, and he is a future Hall of Famer and one of the best scorers ever. But again, man, it just ain't got enough to close the deal. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's pure fright or just not give a fuck enough. I really don't know, but it's really sad. You know, it's sad to see. Definitely somebody who's one of, I wouldn't even say he was, but still kind of one of my favorite players. But man, call a spade a spade. It's just it's very ugly, very ugly.
James Harden in the game seven against the Denver Nuggets, he goes 2 for 8 from the field, shooting 25%, had 5 rebounds and 13 assists. In the regular season, James Harden averaged 22 points, 5 boards with 8 assists. And in this playoff series, he went from averaging 22 points per game to 18 points per game. And he kept his assist high, averaging 8 assists in the regular season, averaged 9 in the series versus the Nuggets. And he kept his rebounds relatively the same, averaging 5.8 rebounds in the regular season. He averaged 6 rebounds. Excuse me, I lied. He averaged 5 rebounds uh, versus the Denver Nuggets. Yeah, James Harden regressed compared to his regular season stats. He regressed in the playoffs. He had game one. You heard all the noise. They lose in overtime, but he has the 32 points, 11 assists game, going 11 for 22 from the field in the game one. Then they're up. They go up 2-1. James Harden has a 20.9 assists a game in game three. Then he has he's let's just say James Harden started out great, right? Game one, 32 and 11. Game two, 18 and 7. Game three, he had 20 and 9. So it's like he's relatively decent. He's not showing up in turn, whatever the case may be. Game four, they lose by one. He's 15 points, 11 assists. You want those numbers to go up. Game six, no, excuse me, game five. That was the blowout. They 11 points and 5 assists, 8 rebounds. Game six, that's a must win. You need that game, James. Will James Harden show up? James Harden shows up, 28 points, 8 assists, 6 rebounds. Game seven, with it all on the line, 7 points, 13 assists, 5 rebounds. James Harden does not show up. The Denver Nuggets go on to beat the Clippers was that, by 19 points. And James Harden in game sevens, all time in his career, he averages 19 points, 5 rebounds.
If you exclude those OKC days, that number drops precipitously.
Yeah, all
That's
time.
just facts.
He only has one. He only has one with OKC. He only has one game seven with OKC. Um, but all time, one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, total of 7 game sevens. James Harden is averaging 19 points, 5 rebounds, 7 assists, shooting 35% from the field and 22% from three. And he's also averaging 4 turnovers a game
Ain't
in
gonna
these
cut.
game sevens. So like James Harden, as big of a superstar he is, he's been in his career and what he's going into the NBA First Ballot Hall of Fame for, he isn't that guy in Game Sevens. And I there's a disconnect. There's a huge disconnect in the 7 game sevens that he's had. Only three of them he scored 20 plus points. Um, and yeah, it's just like I think about Kobe, right? You know that viral clip that used to go around about Kobe talking about how James Harden plays is great, but he won't win championships. I wonder, I think when James Harden goes into game sevens, he's thinking about how do I win? And maybe he tries to go about winning in a way of like playing the right way, aka deferring, trying to get guys open, making the right pass, as opposed to just being like a killer. Like, bro, just go get the buckets and the rest you'll figure out later. Like, you know what I'm saying? I think that may
Right.
be like the mental disconnect for him when he goes into game sevens. He's overthinking, he's trying to like overpass and overshare and over make the right play. Or the right play sometimes is just like get the hell out the way. You know what I'm saying? Like if
Yeah.
James Harden could start off, if James Harden could start off hot and he go on and he got 15 in the first quarter or he got 15 through the first half and he even got himself going and then they start to focus in on him, then he can start delegating and distributing. That may be a more healthier, conducive way for James Harden to go about winning game seven. But yeah, other than that, it's just not. Other than that, man, it's just been a disconnect throughout his career. Um, yeah, and he's 3-4 all time in Game Sevens, with the most recent loss being to the Denver Nuggets, where James Harden had his career low in Game Sevens of only 7 points, and he had a career low in field goals attempted with only 8 field goals attempted and 7 points. And before that, his all time low was 9 points. So, yeah, man. And I think sometimes, I know I'm gonna sound crazy, but it's like, I feel like sometimes too, he gets a bad rap because it's just like, yo, y'all be wanting him to be the second option. And it's just like when he tries to defer and be the second option, it's just like, nah, nigga, be the nigga that was in Houston. But even as a second option, that doesn't excuse you from like being only in 8 points.
Being aggressive, man. Just
Yeah.
taking the game into your own hands and not leaving it up to fate or another player, man. You making the money that you're making for a reason. Second option at worst on this team. You know, and it's crazy that Kawhi not being held to a standard. Like, granted, he did have 20 some points in the blowout, but we supposed to be this defensive prowess. Where's your vocal leadership in regards to getting guys in the right spots defensively? And because you all let go of the rope, I understand not making shots, but yeah, if you can't make shots, let's make sure the other team ain't making shots either, or let's make it
Mm-hmm.
real hard. So I don't think Kawhi has been held to that standard of really, galvanizing the troops on offense or defense in regards to, oh, okay, he's just going to go out here and, he's going to perform to a certain level to where it's not blamable on him. So I didn't think that was just too fair in regards to the synopsis of it all. But let's some to share around. But for sure, James got to get up more than 8 shots. At least, man, go 4-19 or something. Like
Empty the
he
clip,
should be
bro.
getting back to the shots. Exactly.
Empty the clip, man. Empty the clip, dog. Uh, Talking about earlier in the show with Tyrese Halliburton hitting the game winner uh, over the Cavs. Nuggets, they still game one. Aaron Gordon hits the game winning three. They tried to play the foul game late. OKC, that was fouling Denver while they were up three, trying to play the foul game, and it was working into their favor. Some argue that Denver some argue that OKC was fouling a little bit too early in the shot clock, or the game clock rather, because the shot clock was turned off by that point. Not allowing the clock to work in their favor because they were fouling so early. Um, Chet Holmgren goes to the line. He misses two when they are up one, I believe that was, or maybe they was up two. But he misses both free throws. Russell Westbrook gets the ball off the rim. And everybody was like, oh, it's Russ Rule. We know Russ going to the rim. It'd be like 50-50 sometimes with him being able to finish at the rim with contact and being contested. But he pushes the pass over to Aaron Gordon, who squares up and knocks down a three to defeat the Oklahoma City Thunder and go up 1-0. Izzo, who did you have winning this series before? I don't know if you had a pick or had a favorite before the series started. And do you think OKC responds to having this game stolen from them?
Um, I think if you're OKC, I think you're concerned because you played a relatively pretty good game at home. SGA had 33. Isaiah Harden was making was putting floater in the lane. You had others contributing, but you end up giving the game away late um, due to a transition three. By Eric Gordon, which is actually nuts to say out loud, but you know there is a level of concern there because you don't want this to be a repeat of last year, right? Because it's looking as though, again, right, who's going to come along with SGA. And people are like, oh, well, Jalen Williams, he had a decent game. He made an all-star, team for the first time this year. But it's just like, okay, is that translated into meaningful number two help in regards to another consistent scoring option? Because I don't believe that that's Chet Holmgren currently, i.e. the guy who missed some free throws late that could have sealed that game for the Thunder. But
Mr.
he,
Bunnies,
he missed them, man. They free for a reason. So,
as you say, as you like to say, free as air.
hey man, it was supposed to be anyway. But it's tough. I'm slightly concerned because every win counts in the playoffs, man. So they only need three more. It's the first to four. So
And no longer have to win in OKC.
hey man, you stole one. You stole one.
Um, I've been guilty. I realized how flagrant I was in my thought process.
Shout
Uh,
out to Westbrook for making that play late too in
Making the
transition.
right play. Triple salute for making the right play. Yes. Um, I was thinking to myself as the playoffs was getting started, I was like, dang, like what's the best narrative going into the playoffs, or what would be the best narrative? And I felt like the best narrative in the playoffs would have been Braun with the Lakers meeting the Cavaliers in the NBA Finals. I thought that would have been a spectacular narrative. Not that I actually believe the Cavs could get there, but I just thought that was like the best narrative, right? Uh, can Cleveland get their first championship since LeBron against LeBron? Come on, like you gotta love a narrative like that in the headlines. After that, I felt like your typical Lakers versus Celtics, right? Luka makes it back to the finals with the Lakers going up against Boston. Like obviously, the NBA is built off of the rivalry of the Lakers and the Celtics. So that was my next best narrative. Then after I kind of like it didn't cross my mind because they swept Memphis and I was so into like thinking maybe the Clippers really had a chance to beat the Denver Nuggets. And then when they didn't, and it's just like the stars align, it's like, oh, shit. You talk about a narrative, the dueling of the league MVP versus the real MVP, and Shea versus Jokic. And I don't know if anybody is thinking about this, but I thought about this today. Game one shifted the dynamic of what not only the Nuggets have a chance to do and possibly winning game two, but get this. If I think all for the most part, the majority of all the awards have already been like given out and the award winners have been named except MVP. I would like to believe it may be this week, or at least in the second round, where they announce the league MVP. If the Denver Nuggets win game two, their OKC is not coming back. I don't see them getting out of Denver if they go down 0-2. And furthermore,
Do the Cavs come back from an OT deficit?
no, they're done.
Wow.
they're done. Um, but bro, think about this. Jokic could have a chance to end OKC's season, and Shea, assuming he's going to win the MVP, if they beat them in game two and they can't and they get swept, Shea doesn't even get awarded the MVP in front of the home crowd during the playoffs. And I think that would I see that bro, that right there, bro. I think that would be the ultimate. I got an MVP for your ass, all right. Like imagine Shea being eliminated and the following day they announced that he's the MVP after Jokic sent him home. Cause I'm like, if they win game one, I mean, if OKC win game two, I think Shea gets awarded with it because I think he's going to win it. I think he gets awarded with it like game five, right? But if they go down 0-2, I do not believe OKC is coming out of Denver still in the game. I do not believe that. Because you got to believe they're going to treat game three to go up like it's game seven. You're not coming out of Mile High City in game three if you're down 0-2. And then game four to close you out, Shea going to have to shoot it 50 times. Take the over, by the way, on the shot attempts. But I still don't think they're going to win. So, like, bro, if Jokic could send him home without him even being awarded the MVP trophy in front of the OKC fans, that's a narrative right there. That is a narrative right there.
Huge narrative.
Yeah, no, but I had to put that out there in the atmosphere. Jokic has a golden opportunity to pull that off, and I don't know if
Had
in
41 and 22, by the way.
you know what I mean. And so, like, I don't know if a player who's won MVP has ever lasted or who has ever been kicked out in the playoffs so early to the point that they didn't even get to be awarded the trophy in front of their home crowd. I want to say I believe it's gonna be announced here in the second round, maybe third round. I couldn't really find like exactly pinpoint like on NBA media or whatever, like when they were gonna announce it, but yeah, man. If Shea can't get that award-winning trophy in front of the home fans because he got sent home or got swept essentially, say your prayers, OKC. Say your prayers. Man, shout out to our brother Black Peace, man. He's not in the building with us, but he spoke at gym last week, calling Anthony Edwards the legend killer, paying homage to Randy Orton. WWE fans, you already know he's deemed as the legend killer with the RKO, and so posted the graphic and the posted the clip and the graphic yesterday earlier, in the day, and then lo and behold, Randy Orton himself actually had tweeted another picture of like him and Anthony Edwards together, and he like crowning him like the legend killer. So credit to our brother Black Peace because he put it in the atmosphere first. Randy Orton, and if you're watching this, show the podcast some love, retweet us, subscribe, all that good stuff. But yeah, man, shout out to our brother Black Peace, aka as he also likes to be known as Rastadamus, of him speaking that fantastic analogy out there in the atmosphere for Anthony Edwards with what he's been doing in the playoffs throughout his career, getting rid of some of our OG legends. Um, so yeah, uh, Stephen Curry go debate. I really want to have this conversation with Dacius, but obviously he couldn't make it tonight. So I'm gonna ask you, Izzo. Me personally, you tell me if it's flagrant or not, but I believe Stephen Curry has foregone ever being in the GOAT debate ever since he lost 3-1 in the NBA Finals. I don't believe we could deem you one of the greatest of all time losing in the NBA Finals after being up 3-1. If you are who you are, if you're one of the greatest of all time, you up 3-1 in the NBA Finals, you find a way to get one game. I don't care who's on the other side of that because some people are going to try to argue, well, he was going up against one of, no, if you are who you are,
By the way,
find a way. If that shot is as deadly as it is portrayed to be, that shot is
I
going to
just
be.
don't. I think Steph is done winning championships. I don't believe that he wins another. I don't think they get past the T Wolves in this series with the defense that they're able to play. I think they expose the size that they do lag down low, and I know people probably looking at it like, oh, the Rockets could expose the size, that the Warriors, had down low. How did that work out? Well, they couldn't make shots. Anthony Edwards, I don't believe is going to have that problem.
Anthony Edwards right now is literally 0 for 9 with 1 point going into the third quarter. Talk about a game of halves. Let's see what you do in the second half, man.
But damn.
It just caught. I'm like, damn, bro.
That'll undermine a point really quickly, but I don't believe that shit continues, and I definitely think he flips the switch and turns it on. But man, I just think it'll be an uphill battle. It'll be an uphill battle for sure.
But do you think Steph deserves to be in the GOAT debate when he has a 3-1 blown NBA Finals record on
I
his
don't believe
resume?
he deserves to be in the GOAT debate, period, because of what he doesn't do defensively and how he does get hunted on defense still to this day. And then not, no angst onto him. It's just you're a 6'2" small guard, and we're gonna put you in all the actions and make you defend. Like, and not to say that he doesn't try and he isn't a willing defender, because he is, but you know, willing and being great at it are two different things. So that's just
True.
my personal opinion.
No, I can respect. Got to respect both sides of the ball. And as we see with somebody like Luca, as great as he is offensively, his defense is now being so called into question that people are starting to like not even care for his offense, as they've got bounced out. So yeah, um, is there anybody that you could find or think of that has had the that has had the type of luck that the Indiana Pacers have had in the playoffs with constantly being hand gifted and wrapped injured teams in the playoffs?
Warriors.
Chris Paul,
Initially, when they were going on their finals runs, I mean, it seemed like every year a pivotal player that they were playing against in every series that they were in got injured.
Kyrie Irving,
Come on, man. That
uh,
was some of the sickest shit I had to stomach and watch. So I don't even like renaming it and reliving it, but definitely immediately it comes to my mind the Warriors of recent history that have just had the luck of the Irish in regards to the championship run. So, but the Pacers aren't they are the championship team, dare I say? But man, Halliburton has a. You want to talk about golden opportunity, man? He has a golden opportunity to make a huge name for himself. Make a huge name for himself in these playoffs, man. Um, I know it isn't a popular thing to say. I know pre-playoffs, people weren't looking at the Pacers as a team to beat, but man, they're still playing up and down. Andrew Nemhart is a rock. They're saying that he could potentially walk, this summer. So Pacers got a lot of heart, man, and they aren't scared of the moment, and they're being led, by Tyrese Halliburton, who, man, he may not come when you want him, but he's seemingly showing up right on time.
Hmm. Nah, man. I think they lucky as hell. But at the same time, too, if you Cleveland, you up 20, you at the crib. I don't
No
think
excuse.
that ain't got nothing to do with injury. They got everything to do with the Pacers continuously to fight. Um,
And your
so
inability to close the deal.
1010%, man. Again, heart
Donovan
riveting,
Mitchell led team.
a heart riveting stat. Again, Donovan Mitchell, 48 points tonight, 15 to 30 from the field. So he was efficient with the 48, and they still lose by 1 point off of a game winner. Don't really know what more Donovan Mitchell could have done. Uh, it's just not they. It's just not meant to be. And it's funny because I never believed in Cleveland. Like I'm on record as long as Jared Allen is on that team, I'll never believe in him.
Damn.
But but you know they not gonna make it, but you just it's like you feel bad for them that this is how they not gonna make it.
But it's like you're doing it to yourself, you know,
Yeah, man.
with
Yeah.
games like this, because these are the ones you gotta win. And I'm like, man, they got real control of this game from start to finish, and you let it go within the last 11 seconds, man. So I don't really have a lot of sympathy for that. You got to be better.
No, 1010%. Yeah, man. Ever since Jared Allen, I gotta go because I troll him about it, but I have to go back and find out what year that was. I do believe by then he was a veteran in the league. But like when they had got knocked out, he also too made the remarks. It was like I guess the lights were just too bright. And I just like that always like I always felt some type of way about that. And then to hear Jalen Green said, it's just like it made me like want to throw up because I'm just like Jalen, no, don't say that. But again, but again, his first playoff series of his career, 22 years old, he hella young. Like I said, I believe Jared Allen was a well experienced vet by then. He's himself said that. But I have to go fact check that. Um, yeah, man. So this brings us to our intriguing stat segment presented to you by, you guessed it, your logo here. So make sure you reach out to us. You want to advertise, sponsor the podcast, whatever great business you're out there in. We would love to have you on the podcast. You know what I'm saying? Represent, and we could put your logo here for our intriguing stats segment, which brings us to Shanghai Izzo, the Celtics Knicks. Celtics blow 20-point lead midway through the third quarter to the New York Knicks. And the intriguing stat, I went down a wormhole of like history, and what I want people to take away from this segment as we talk about the intriguing stat of this week is the death of the narrative of this being a 3 point shooting lead, the death of analytics and believing that shooting threes is a guaranteed, surefire way of increasing your chances to win a game. Like we're gonna dead that today with the stats that I found and the stats that all of you, some of you may know by now, that led to the Celtics blowing a 20-point lead midway through the third quarter against the New York Knicks. Right. So the Celtics went 15 for 60 from three, 25%. And that is a NBA record in the playoffs for most threes attempted with 63-point attempts. And it is also a NBA record of most three-pointers missed, which is 45 for the Celtics. And it just goes to show that no matter how many threes you shoot, it does not guarantee you making those threes. Um, I'll take a 2 over a 3 any day of the week. And you know where it took me, Izzo? It took me back to 2018 playoffs, game 7, 27 consecutive missed threes by our Houston Rockets.
2017 playoffs, but go ahead. It was
2017
2018. It
18
was 28.
season.
It was 2017, 2018 season. I
See,
know
yeah,
what you
yeah,
mean. I know
yeah,
what you
yeah.
mean.
And when I seen that stat by the Celtics, I immediately went there, and I'm just like, bro, like this net. And you know why the whole analytics thing with threes should be dead is because threes are not fail safe. They could go against you at the most unopportune time of the season. Whether we see that with the Rockets with their game 7 situation, and there's no guarantee. Like as catastrophic as the shooting was, going 25%, 15 for 60. There's no guarantee that that won't happen again. And like, so it's just like the 3-point shooting isn't fail safe. It's not like it's a great system revolved around it to where even if you do get open looks, there's no guarantee that they're going down. Like all the other athletes say, it is a make or miss lead. Get to the cup, get fouled. Let's create something in the mid range. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's attack the rim. So, like, I just feel like what happened with the Celtics, again, 15 for 60 from three, NBA record of 63 pointers attempted in the playoffs. That's an NBA playoff record. We'll get to the record in the regular season, but 63 pointers attempted in the playoffs was a record, and 45 missed 3 pointers was an NBA record altogether. Um, and they lost. They lost the game because they could not make threes. Um, and so surely, all right, if you're the Houston Rockets and you're in the 2017-2018 season, you go into the playoffs and you miss 27 straight threes in the game 7. I don't know. That may or may not be alarming to say, hey, let's tweak our offense just a little bit so we don't find ourselves in a position where we're taking a bunch of threes and our shot isn't falling. Let's try to institute some type of offensive flow to where we can still get good quality looks. There may not be threes, but we know we'll rather live and die with this shot because it's a good shot to take. You would think that that would be installed after missing 27 straight threes. Absolutely not. What do the Rockets do the following year? They set a record for the most 3 pointers made in a single season. so so you would think missing 27 would be alarming, but no, we're going to keep shooting these because the analytics say this is where it's at to try to be a championship contending team. That following season, after missing 27 straight threes, the Rockets went on to make 13,603 3-pointers. That is the fourth most in NBA history for most made threes by a team in a single season. That is the fourth most. You want to know how their season ended? Somebody asked me, or you asked me, their season ended in game 6 versus the Golden State Warriors, where they made 16 threes. Excuse me, I lied. They made 17 threes to the Golden State Warriors 16 threes. And though they shot a better percentage at three than the Golden State Warriors, they shot 43%. Golden State shot 42%, about whatever, even if you want to argue that. But they made more threes than the Golden State Warriors and still lost in a game 6. There is no sure fine proof, no guarantee that shooting a lot of threes or making a lot of threes will guarantee you success. It's happened time and time again. And there's also a stat for, I want to say during the COVID year where it was only 72 games, the Utah Jazz, they set an NBA record for the most made threes on average in the game, which was 16 made on average 16 threes a game. It was an NBA record for the most. Golden State Warriors ain't sniffed nobody's NBA finals with that. So play basketball, get back to the essence of just taking good shots and let go of this idiotic narrative that the more threes you take, the better chance you have at winning. And I'll close with this. Again, the Celtics taking 63 pointers, that was the most in the playoffs. Just take a stab at it, Izzo. What do you think is the most three-pointers attempted in a regular season game?
Uh, most 3 points, most 3 pointers attempted in a regular season game, I think is around probably like around 53 to 58.
It's 70.
70 by us.
Yours truly, the Houston Rockets in
Yeah.
2019. Do you think we won or lost that game when we took 73
We
pointers?
lost because we didn't make nearly as much as we needed to. It could kill you, man. Same thing make you laugh, make you cry.
Yeah, man. The Houston Rockets, uh, January 16th versus the Brooklyn Nets, we attempted 73 pointers and we only made 23 of them. And we lost in overtime after attempting 73s, bro. Attempting threes does not guarantee or increase your percentage chance of winning, bro. It does not. So let it go. Let's get rid of the analytics as it relates to it being in that department of shooting. There's a lot of great players who careers ended early because y'all, whatever geeks and nerds infiltrated the front office, made people believe that threes were better off than just playing good basketball and getting quality shots. Stop it. Let it go, man. Just let it go. Get good shots, take good threes in transition when you open, and just maybe you'll have a better chance at winning a championship. Um, yeah, man. Uh, is where do you I still like to believe, although I can't even say that after all these stats I read off. Because again, I think the chances are more likely that you have a catastrophic shooting night than you have a night where you're just like 50% shooting from three. But how do you feel about the Celtics and the Knicks series with the Knicks being able to steal one?
Man, Celtics are banged up, man. No Chris
Porzingis
Stapps
out,
leaving
yeah.
early. Uh, Tatum with the wrist. Jalen Brown with the knee. And with that goofy ass haircut. It's gonna be tough, man. But even with all of that being stated, it took them winning at the last second. Even with the historically bad shooting night, which I think still actually bodes pretty well for Boston. So I can easily see Boston still winning this in 6 games.
Beautiful people. Uh, the doors of the church are open. Uh, if you're
Yes,
looking
sir.
for a podcast home, somewhere to can help you get to your commute a little bit more efficiently, a little bit more chill and swiftly. Looking for good sports conversations, good cultural conversations. We ask you to come as you are. We do not judge. And all you have to do is simply just hit the subscribe button, where we will give you great episodes week after week after week after week. And just like this episode that me and my brother Sean Hart Izzo just had, it's what you call a great episode. We will see you beautiful people next week.